You're listening to Plus Size Divas with Deanna and Carmen, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. It is that time again. I am Deanna, Bomb Chica Deanna, and this is
Julie Johnson, or confidently Jules.
And together we are the Plus Size Divas. Julie,
Yay.
you're like a little bit nervous. It's so adorable.
A little bit.
Listen, I just want to say really quickly that you guys might be like, well, Carmen looks different this week.
Where the hell is Carmen?
Where's Carmen?
Where is she?
Carmen is taking much deserved family time away in Oregon, and Julie has been kind enough tonight, you guys, to step in for Carmen and be my special guest co-host, which I'm so excited about.
Me too.
Really, really, really excited to have you.
Oh, me too. I'm so happy to be back.
I think you were our second guest or our third guest. Help me.
Second. I was the second one.
And we needed to talk more to you, so this is just kind of perfect. It's
yes.
perfect. Now, I know that you tuning in, if you tune in all the time, you're kind of like, why is the guest chair empty? What's going on? Well, this is kind of funny, but it's true, and it's part of what we do here. Our guest tonight is Linda Baptista Hall, and she is a mom of 4, an incredible mom. I'm so excited to have her on the show because we're really going to talk about inclusion on the show. Yes. We're going to talk about why loving and accepting without judgment is so huge. But Linda hit me up and was like, hey, you know what? My babysitter flaked. She's a mom of 4. She's got a baby. And she has a daughter with cerebral palsy. Yes. And she's literally pulling into the driveway as we speak. And she is going to be coming up here. And her kids are going to be here with us. And that's just what we do here at the Plus Size Divas.
Exactly.
Because guess what?
That is life.
There ain't no perfect.
Nope.
There ain't no perfect body.
Nope.
There ain't no perfect situation.
Absolutely.
And we bring you the real.
Yes.
So that's what's going on. So pretty soon, Linda will be coming in and we will welcome her and her children. And we're really excited to talk to her. But in the meantime, have you followed us on Instagram as well as Twitter? It is 2 Plus Size Divas. Please go to our YouTube channel, The Plus Size Divas, and Facebook. Hit like on that. Subscribe to the Facebook. Great time to talk to you right now about our sponsor this week. You guys, I don't know if you can kind of tell or whatever, but I literally purposely did my eyes and did not put anything. Look, nothing.
And she's glowing.
Nothing on my face. And I was telling Julie just prior that I'm really, really in love with this product, actually. Nerium, Chris Larrigan, who is our beautiful sponsor this week. I've been using this stuff since she sent it to us about 3 weeks.
Okay.
First of all, this stuff right here, Illuma Boost, brightening and shield, makes me feel like I don't need makeup at all. And I'm kind of big on that anyway. Like I'm that person. I think there's societal things that go, how is she at that gala and not fully made up? I would personally go to a gala with nothing on.
Exactly.
Because that's when I feel most beautiful.
Exactly.
But I'm going to tell you something. I am not about use this because it'll make you beautiful. I'm about use this because it'll enhance your beauty and it will preserve your beauty. You're beautiful already, and that's what we're really about here. Yes. And I have to tell you, this stuff is pretty amazing. I've been using this and this, and I purposely wanted to come on today with nothing on my face so you could see just how glowy and pretty, and it makes me feel really good.
Good.
So shout out to Chris Larrigan, our wonderful sponsor for the last 2 weeks. And if you want to get any of this product, she sent me the age-defying day and night cream. Highly recommended, honey. You know I turned 40 fly a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
But you can get it. Her website is Chris, C-R-I-S, Larrigan, L-A-R-A-G-A-N .Nerium, Nerium.com. I'll give that to you guys again at the end. But please go check the products, and especially if you're about, listen, I have a facial I don't know, once when I can afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they tell me all the time, you know, my esthetician tells me all the time, take care of your skin, use your SPF, get a good product. That's how you can kind of ward off all that stuff that's going to happen to all of us.
Exactly.
And you know what? I have to tell you, it's funny that I'm kind of excited about that happening, because it's like a new stage of beauty for women. And
Absolutely.
I think women want to fight that off so much. And it's like, it's going to happen.
Oh, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
But you're still beautiful.
Exactly.
And
yes.
that's kind of what we're about. All of that. And you know, while we're waiting for Linda to come up, interestingly enough, as you take a platform like this, body positivity, there's a lot of ignorant humans out there.
Oh, tons and tons and tons. Yes.
And I have been personally attacked both on Twitter and Instagram this week.
Oh.
Because I've been putting up pictures that are a little bit more revealing of myself, and
with that comes criticism.
And with that comes the trolls of troll.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I always try to handle them with love and compassion because they hate themselves.
Yes.
That's my take. I think they hate themselves. They see somebody doing something they wish they could do.
So they project it.
So they project it.
Of course.
And with that being said, I've also realized, you know, like the picture of Carmen and I that I put up.
Oh, the most beautiful picture ever.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think it's gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I think she looks beautiful.
We
I
both
think
do, yes.
we glow together. We had no makeup on, no clothes on.
Yes.
You know, really vulnerable.
Completely natural, yes.
Completely natural. Yes. And I think that we shine beautifully. And you know, the big thing for me with all of this is I don't care what I look like on the outside. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
If you cut me open, those insides are a supermodel.
Exactly. Hell yes.
And that is kind of the big thing, is that externally you could be the baddest of the bad, whatever you think that is.
Exactly.
Truth of the matter is, you have to be a solid human.
Yes.
And so that's why I try to approach the trolls and the haters and the people that psychologically I understand what's going on.
Yes. I try to, but they catch me in a bad mood sometimes. So then
I have seen you snap, I have given you the in the air circle.
That's exactly what it is when I'm doing it. It's the in the air circle with the snap. But
I think you would shut them up so much quicker.
I know.
If you could just go, hey, guess what? You're beautiful. Have a great day.
My boyfriend tells me the same thing.
You're beautiful. Have a great day.
He goes, don't negatively react. He's like, give them a compliment. Say something nice to them. So I try to think of
Kill them with kindness.
Exactly.
I know sometimes you just want to be like, F you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
It happens.
It does happen.
It happens. But I've been practicing that, and my friend was visiting last week, and she says only a fool responds to a fool. And since she told me that last week, I knew that.
Yes.
But wow.
But when it's spoken to you, it resonates differently.
And I was
like,
only a fool. Like, if I respond to a fool, then I'm a fool too.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Like, just love. I want to know, while we're waiting for Linda, I want to know your definition of body positivity, because there are some very ignorant people. One of the comments that we got is, I know that you're trying to promote love and XYZ of bodies and all that, but guess what? I see 2 overweight people. And I was like, you know, 2 overweight, unhealthy people. And I was like, well, that we can't have.
Exactly.
Linda, Linda is actually here. Hold on one second.
Sorry,
Linda
guys.
Is here. So, guys, Linda is here.
Yes, Linda's here.
Let's get Linda in here. We're going to get back to that question, by the way. But I am so excited to welcome Linda and her kitties. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Janai.
Hi, Janai.
Is it with the J? DJ.
DJ. Beautiful. Hi, how are you?
Say hi.
I'm Julie.
Can you say hi, Julie?
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Yes,
Hello.
hi.
So we have Janai and Julian. Yeah. Uh-oh.
He just woke up.
Okay.
So he's not ready
So
yet.
as
That's okay.
we're live. We're live right now,
live,
girl.
yes. Say
So
hi.
everybody, this is Linda Baptista Hall. Linda, get yourself comfortable. We were telling everybody that tonight we're going to have some real on the Plus Size Divas.
Okay.
Come on, Julian. He can sit there. He can do his thing.
How are you?
So the really wonderful thing about having you on the show tonight is that, ironically enough, my substitute co-host deals in the special needs world.
Yes. Yes.
So you want to tell her what you do and how this is kind of perfect? That
I know.
she's
I
hosting
was
with
so
me
excited when she texted me probably late last week, and she was telling me about you. She gave me a little bit of your background, and I was totally excited. I've been in special ed probably close to 9 years. I work in a moderate to severe autism program at a high school, so I work with the older guys, and I absolutely love it. So I was so excited that you were going to be here this week.
Shania's really. We had a conversation on the way in, and I was like, all right, I'm going to need you as your inside voice.
Right. Honey, we totally understand, and it's all good, but we just appreciate you coming. So Linda, unfortunately, had babysitter problems tonight. Oh, closer to the mic? Oh, Sam's saying, yeah, just get closer to the mic so we can hear you. And I told her, you know what? That's okay. We're going to bring the real into the Plus Size Divas.
Yes.
This is what we're here to talk about. It's all good. I'm actually happy to meet your family. I'm so excited to meet them. So, Linda, really quickly for people just tuning in who don't know who you are, what you do. I actually met her at an event on Mother's Day.
Okay.
Week before Mother's Day. And we clicked because she's a Boston badass babe like me.
Awesome.
Hey,
Yeah.
617. Yeah. Anyway, she's a Boston babe, and we kind of clicked and kind of kept in touch. And she does this yearly event. First of all, you're the founder of Inclusion Clubhouse. Tell everybody what that is.
Okay, so my vision for Inclusion Clubhouse is to open up a recreational center.
1 second, Linda. Linda, say that one more time.
Okay. My vision for Inclusion Clubhouse is to open up a recreational center for families of children with special needs.
Okay.
So the goal is to actually have a facility, yes, Janai, where kids like Janai can interact with their typical peers.
Yes.
Something where the siblings also have something to do. Okay. She's like, Mom, you know what? I never get to tell my side of the
Exactly.
story. So I'm gonna say it.
Girl, it's good.
Yes,
It's good,
I know,
yes.
baby. I know, you're so excited. So we have, not just for Janai, but we find it difficult to find activities,
Yes.
extracurricular. I feel like our I hate using the word typical, but our typical kids, there's millions of things for them to do. There's everything from sports to dance, theater, whatever you can think of, there is for them. And for our kids, it's so limited as to what is made adaptable for them.
Right.
Definitely.
There are a few programs coming up now that, have adaptive sports or adaptive fitness, and you do find some theater programs and dance programs as well. But, what I'm finding a lot of times is that, even when they say that they're inclusive, when you really get into it, and I'm like, okay, I think my daughter would love this, and then come to find out it's on the second floor and there's no elevator.
Aww.
Or
I think she wants a hug.
Yes, she's so excited.
Oh, so sweet. And now this is my thing too. You guys, if you're tuning in, I want you to call in, especially God, especially if you have children like her daughter, and you have special needs children, and you're like, hey, I live in the LA area, and let's talk about what you're doing. I need some tips. I need some help. This is your person. 818-570-5085. Inclusion Clubhouse. So Inclusion Clubhouse right now is an idea or an actual place?
Well, right now it's virtual. Okay. So I do a lot of events, and I do things. So for 5 years now, we've done a special needs family prom.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah. And it started as her Sweet 16.
I love it.
And everyone,
how old is she now?
She is now 20.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, she's now 20.
Almost
wow.
21.
And so,
by the way, unfair that you have a 20-year-old, because I told her when she sent me the picture of her and her husband and the kids, I went, you have 4 kids, Linda? And she was like,
I
yes.
thought too. I was like, what? I was like, she's the mom, no way.
I was like, here's a perfect example of unfair. Yeah, give me a break. No, just stunning. You're stunning.
Thank you.
But sorry to interject.
No, it's okay. Absolutely. So prom came through her Sweet 16, and everyone just was in love. They're like, oh my God, I never thought that my child could experience something like this, or even enjoy it, be able to participate.
They're usually not included.
No.
Right. In prom.
They're not.
No.
They're not.
No.
And the crazy thing is I thought I was really doing it for those who are the least able, who don't get out, who don't really have those opportunities. But then over the years, I found that even the high functioning kids who have autism are like, this year I brought Kobe Bird. He was one of our VIPs. He's 16 and he's high functioning autistic. He loves to sing and perform. And so last year was the first year he attended prom, and he was a VIP, which means that he got a suit gifted to him by Robert Mazza, who is also the suit designer for The Rock.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and so he did it again this year for us. And so I had, because we've been on Table for Five, the ladies here. Right. And so Kobe came with me, and, and it was great to listen to him just say how, he's homeschooled. So prom isn't even something that he would have access to. And, and it was something that he was like really nervous and scared about, because it's like awkward asking a girl for a date, being turned down, and just the being awkward and not knowing how to approach that situation. And he said he came to prom, and he was a little nervous, but then when he got there, he just felt like this love that he was like, wow, this is like, it just feels like family. It feels like home, because it isn't just for high school kids. It's for the whole entire family, where siblings also get to meet other siblings. And that's kind of the reason why I'm so big on the event and doing the event, is because it allows the community to see what the Clubhouse is about. Right. It's not just about a particular event. It's about the feeling that one gets in those situations, and for them to see how, like, our kids, they need that on a regular basis. Like once a year isn't enough. Right. Like from prom just last year, I started doing karaoke with them. I love it. So you should see them get on stage. So I'm like, it was great. But like, even those who couldn't sing were doing backup dancing. And so it was like,
can anybody that does karaoke really sing? I mean, think about it. Like,
I can for sure.
Surprised. Some of these kids we had come up, like they blew me away. I was like, oh my God. I mean, they came dressed up. I mean, we had someone like dressed up as MC Hammer.
Oh my so cute.
And I love just like, I was like, wow.
It's so cute. Now for prom, you do a wonderful thing. Like almost everything is donated, correct? Like you have really great sponsors.
Well, unfortunately, we haven't. Honestly, I do it myself.
You do it,
and even like the decor, we pretty much DIY'd everything. So
that's amazing.
A lot of it's from the muscle. Our goal is to have sponsors to where everything is paid for. Lowe's, Hollywood Hotel, they donated a big percentage. Like they really literally just charged us for food.
I love it.
Robert Mazza donated suits for some of the boys.
So amazing.
So we did have someone donate my special little flowers. They did like a big flower wall, and also is like a special needs mom. So a lot of times it's like within the special needs community that you'll find people that have like a certain gift, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna donate that for you.
That's beautiful.
That's
How many
beautiful.
attendees did you have this year?
This year I believe we were just a little over 100, which was small for us, because typically we have like 200. Like last year we had 200, but I feel like this year, like we've never done it in July, and it's summer and everyone's on vacation. Typically we do it before school's out, so all the kids get the invite, and everyone's being reminded by their friends, like, hey, don't forget to come to prom. And so this year I feel like that was, live and learn every year.
And she did it in July, which was a big mistake, because she wanted me to host it, and she did
it was her birthday
my
weekend.
birthday weekend. So now do it in May so I can host it.
Okay, that's the first thing I said to Lana too. I was like, no, we have to do it next year at a time where Deanna can.
Yes, I would be honored to host it. But listen, I want you to. We have viewers. This is going to go on our YouTube. This is Facebook Live right now. A lot of people see this. We will share this. It will go on forever. Please tell people not only where they can follow you, but also if they want to make a donation to Inclusion Clubhouse, which or to what you're doing. Of course. Please let people know where, and we're going to repost this tomorrow so people can do that for you.
Thank you. So definitely visit our website, www.inclusionclubhouse.org. Yes, baby, you want to tell them?
You could tell
Oh,
us.
not really.
You can
Okay.
tell them. He's like, you
Julian's
woke
like,
me
no.
from my nap. What's up, Papa? Yes. You can also follow us on Instagram at Inclusion Clubhouse or on Facebook, or you can follow me at Linda Baptista Hall.
Right.
And we're constantly posting everything that we're doing. We'll also post whenever we need volunteers.
Right.
Definitely.
I'll be all over it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Definitely. I mean, we're always looking. We also do, typically this year, it's kind of a bit of a transition year, but I was doing a week-long free summer camp for kids with special needs. And
Who
their
are
siblings.
you? Like
Yeah,
super mom over here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm really, really
absolutely.
sad that I couldn't do it this year. Because I mean, even when I was pregnant with him and a broken foot, and I ran camp for a week.
Superwoman.
Okay.
But
I used
for
to think
me,
I was Wonder Woman until I met Linda
I
Baptista
know.
Hall. Apparently, I'm not.
No, stop. But I definitely need more help. So what happened is I had LAUSD teachers who would help me, a teacher and a special education assistant who would help me run camp.
Right.
And
Yes.
you know, both of them weren't. You know, this year was kind of a tough year.
Right.
One started a new job and things like
Okay.
that. So you know, and for me, as much as I would love to do it myself, which I have actually done it in my own backyard,
Yeah.
I feel like I want to make sure it's good and
Right.
I have the help and I
You
have
have the support that
staffing
you need,
so that I
absolutely.
can support the kids who need it. I
Yeah.
mean, our first year we had 5 kids at camp. The second year we had 20.
Wow. And listen, you know me now, and I am like resource queen. I swear to God, if there is something to get and it's something to get for free, I will find it for you.
Thank you.
So, and now you know, and now
Yes.
you know Julie, and like
Yes.
that's how we do this. We like, you know, we support each other. We pull together and we use our resources. But I loved. Julian's like, I really want to talk.
Let me talk to them, please.
818-570-5085. If you want to talk to Linda, if you want to get some ideas, if you want your kid involved in her camp, if you want your kid to come to prom, whatever, call in and talk to us, okay?
Yes.
The reason, you know, we are a body positivity, self-love, self-acceptance, and, you know, Lala hit me up and was like, oh my gosh, you know, have her on to promote the prom, and we couldn't get you on before prom. And I was like, you know why you're a perfect guest is because body positivity is about inclusion.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if you're fat, skinny, tall, small, you have a defect, you have this, you have, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
It's what we're really trying to do here is get everybody to kind of drop the judgment.
Yes.
And drop the. I was saying to her on the way in. I'm gonna drop something on everybody right now. My new unfavorite word. My new unfavorite word.
Yes.
Normal.
What?
He's like, please let me go to sleep.
He
Normal.
doesn't like that word either.
Oh, right.
No.
Julian, normal.
That's a bad word.
Normal is a dangerous word.
I don't think it exists, honestly. Like,
doesn't.
that's why I started saying typical because, and I don't even like that. It's really hard to fit, like what's
It's hard.
appropriate.
Yeah, it's hard to find the
because
word that's
There
appropriate.
isn't normal anymore.
No,
because
there's not.
What is normal?
Can I give you something? When I met my husband, and he came with our daughter, very early in my relationship with her, when I met her, she was 15. And we've been together now for 5 years. And I kind of took that off the table when I looked at her and I said, hey, you know what? I don't want you to call me stepmom, and I don't want to call you stepdaughter. I want to just call you daughter.
Yes.
I want you to just call me mom, if you're cool with that. And it was kind of just taking away the term. And it's like, for me, like when you did say that, it's like, they're just your children. Really.
Yep.
Right? Like typical, whatever the word is, I don't even think we need a word. She's your child. She's equal to your other children. And I know you know that.
Right.
But for me, just hearing you, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can just give you what I told my kid, which is like, if you didn't know us and didn't know our story, you would never know she wasn't my daughter, because she doesn't treat me any differently. And you know, I realized that too with people with handicaps and things like that. I found that most of them just want to be treated like everybody
Right.
else.
Exactly.
absolutely.
They just
They
want
don't
to be
want-
included.
Yes,
They don't
exactly.
want, they're called, you know, special needs, but they don't want to be treated any
No.
differently.
special.
Absolutely
Or,
not.
or special. No,
Yes.
treat me the way you treat Joe Blow.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hopefully you treat Joe Blow with love and compassion and all that good stuff.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
But that's not always the case.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like maybe just that, you know. And what I love, you had her, and then you had 3 children after, correct?
No. Well, there's a big gap. So between her and my daughter was 8 years. Because initially, you know, there's that fear. You just don't know, like, could this happen again?
Right.
And we were young. I was 22 when I had her.
Wow.
Yeah, I had her at
Everybody
22.
do the math. Everybody do the math.
Yeah.
No,
I had her at 22 and then turned 23.
Right.
Like 3 weeks later.
Okay.
Right out of college. Not knowing, like, is this normal? Like, you know, is this how development goes? Because I was a first-time mom. And the first time I got pregnant, not the first, but yeah, actually the first time I got pregnant after her, there was complications. And it was, the defects would have been even more severe than hers. And I wasn't able to carry to full term, thank God, because, you know, they say you can only take so much. And, you know, this baby had amniotic band syndrome. And so
I don't even know what that is.
Well, it's when, you know, like you have your baby's in the amniotic sac.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, it's when part of the sac, like, kind of falls apart, like it and so it forms bands. So, like, you know how sometimes you might see, like, there'll be a child that has, like, webbed feet or webbed fingers. That's because the bands kind of wrapped around it and made them stick together. And that's how they get the webbed. And so in our case, the bands wrapped around the baby's head, the baby's arm, and the baby's legs. So literally, it would have been born missing the top of its skull, missing, you know, and missing limbs. And so, you know, clearly that would have just been a whole nother situation. And life expectancy after birth is very low. So, you know, I say everything happens for a reason. And so there's that big fear. And then that happened, and there are 2 completely different issues, and neither of them the doctors could pinpoint why they happened. So then I'm like, oh, it's just me. It's my fault. Like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. Like, I can't have normal kids. Like, what's, you know, what's my deal? But fortunately, after that pregnancy, surprisingly, I got pregnant right away with my other daughter. And then
and no issues with that pregnancy.
No issues at all with that pregnancy, and smart as a whip, and, you know, she's like my mini me. She's a total mom and nurturer and a good sister.
How are, now this is my other thing, like, you know, I had a new student this week. I teach voice. Part of one of the many things that I do in entertainment is I teach voice. And I had a student who came to me, new student, and we were talking, and we kind of got into his life a little bit. And, you know, he shared with me that he has attempted suicide several times because kids are so horrible.
They are.
And it kind of broke my heart. And the first and only thing that I could say to him was, like, I am so sorry that people have been so kind of mean to you. I'm assuming that you have dealt with the meanness a lot, right?
Yeah, it's with her, and it's funny because I think bullying is such a big issue, and I think that with kids, what people don't realize is that 60% of bullying happens to those with special needs, more so than your general population. And the crazy thing is half of them don't even realize that they're being bullied.
No,
which
not
is
at
sad.
all.
You know, and then they, you know, how they're treated, they're mistreated, and a lot of times they're hurt, and then they can't tell anyone.
They can't communicate it,
You know, so it's really, really sad, because how do we teach compassion in a world where bullying is like second nature?
Exactly.
Hey, I need you to relax.
Well, here's what I was thinking. We're bringing you the real here today on the Plus Size Divas, ladies and gentlemen. One thing you will never say about the show. These girls are fake. Nope, not here.
Absolutely not. Nope.
Not here.
No fakeness here, huh?
I love that you hit upon that, because I was thinking about you coming on, and I was thinking about this discussion. First of all, I'm assuming, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that your other 3 children are really, really firsthand learning love, non-judgment, and compassion. Yes. Because they have a sister that they're like, you know what? I have to protect her. Mm-hmm. I have to love her. There's days she's going to drive me crazy. There's days, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. And you're teaching that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from birth, all of them have had to deal with her, whether or not they wanted to. Like, I mean, after birth, like, I make her hold them, like, right. You know, and I watch her and, you know, so that they get accustomed to her. And, of course, you know, she's really rough. She's clearly rougher with the boys than she is with Jada. She, like, loves her sister, and that's her BFF. Yeah. Right? And, you know, they share a room. The boys, you know, it's a little harder teaching them the compassion side. Of course, right. But, you know, I also think that they learn it because even though they might not show it at home because that's their sister and they don't need to or whatever, I know that when they're not home, it's a big thing that people tell me, like, oh my God, your kids are the sweetest. Your kids are so well behaved. And I know that my son, Jordan, in not even kinder, I mean preschool, he made a little friend who she kind of, you know, attached herself to him, and she was developmentally delayed, her speech, she was adopted, and she came from Africa, and so she had, you know, her own issues, and communicating was difficult, but she loved Jordan, and Jordan was just so good with her. He was really compassionate. He would hold her hand and kind of teach her the way, and even though he's like a boy's boy and rough and playing sports and very athletic, he always had like a soft spot for her. He always kind of took care of her. If anyone, you know, messed with her, he would step up and kind of put them in their place. And you know, they've been friends, and you know, he still asks about her even though they've gone to different schools and we don't see each other as much, but that love is still there, that like concern for her, wanting to make sure that she's doing okay. So I feel like even if I don't see it at home, seeing things like that makes me feel like, okay, you're doing a good job.
Right.
You know?
And you know, and this is kind of the thing that I was thinking of in conjunction with that is that bullies grow up to be big bullies.
Yes.
You know, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with on like the Instagram and the social media and Facebook and is people that like have their ideal of what something's supposed to be or look like or sound like or whatever, and then they attack it. Yes. If it's not their definition of beautiful, normal. Whatever it is, that dangerous word. And this is really a message to all of those parents out there. Make sure, because my student this week, I had to like really pull it together because I almost lost it in front of him and teared up. Broke my heart because he's such a sweet boy. Please, please, parents, even if you think your kid is the greatest thing on earth, check on them. And make sure that they understand, and that's why we're doing this show. That's why this platform exists, is we want to reach the parents, that this will then trickle down into their children. Teach love, teach compassion, teach everybody, doesn't matter what they look like or sound like, whatever it is. That's what makes them special and unique, rather than that's what makes them weird or different or a freak or whatever word.
Not normal.
Or not normal. And that's why I wanted to have you on, Linda. Like, I was like, I love the work that you're doing. I think I don't even know how you do it. When I saw you had 4 kids too, I went, are you kidding? What? No, I was like, I knew what she did and what she was doing with prom, and like she like does it all herself, and she's the founder of this and a founder of that and la la la. And FYI, everybody, you might not know this, and Pooch might beat me up for this statement, but her husband is a very famous actor who's on the game, And you're literally almost a single parent because he's filming. He's a very busy guy.
He is.
Don't beat me up, Pooch. I don't mean it like that.
No,
but
he is. And I mean, he's in New York. He's been filming Ray Donovan now.
Right.
Since April. So
God bless. We love the work, but
you're quite an adjustment.
You really carry a very, very heavy load and have to do a lot of it. And that's a lot. You know what I mean? That's a whole other echelon of holy crap. Yeah. When you have to, you have a partnership and your partner's out there making the bread for them,
Absolutely.
but they can't be there, so there's that as well. And people at home might be like, oh, she's got a husband, he helps out. Yeah, he does.
Right.
But
and it's crazy because when he was home, because Ray Donovan used to film here in California, and so we kind of got like when he was on the game, he was in Atlanta.
Right.
So I got used to, I had 3, and the little ones were 3 and 4 while he was in Atlanta filming, and I was dealing with a new house and renovations and all of that, and chugging 3 kids around, and I got used to it. I was like, I could do this.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Right. But then he came home and started working, and then he was there.
You got used to it.
I got used to it. Him cooking dinner, him taking the kids, especially Jordan with basketball and all of his after school, his extracurricular activities. I got spoiled because I was like, oh, wow, I don't have to do it all myself. I was like, this is great. And then this year, again, now I'm back to having to get used to that and relying on people. And, I stopped kind of depending on other people. Right. And now it's like, shit.
It's talk radio, girl. You can swear.
I really
all
need
the bombs
to,
you want.
I need to get it together and have extra hands on deck. And luckily, my friend Gabrielle Dennis, who used to be on the game with him as well, we're really close. And so she took 2 of the kids, and so she took one of football, and then
great.
She has the other one with her, and so that helps. Trying to
it's that support system.
Yeah, it's like when they say it takes a village, it really takes a village, and that's kind of what Inclusion Clubhouse is about. Right. It's creating that village so that siblings can feel connected to other siblings who are going through similar situations, because they have regular friends, like they have their friends, their day-to-day school friends. But the chances of any of them actually knowing what it's like to have a sibling who requires so much attention, and when you need attention, you may or may not get it because there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on at home. It's tough. And, part of me is like getting used to that whole like, they used to say therapy is a Cali thing. I'm like, maybe it is, but I'm starting to learn that shit may be necessary.
Therapy is a good thing. Mommy needs some downtime.
Right.
Mommy needs some self-care. How, let me ask you, how do you deal with that? Have any of your children come to you and said, Mom, like, I get it. Like, she needs 24-hour care. I get it. But I am not getting X, Y, and Z. I mean, have they come to you? Are you tuned into that, even if they don't know how to express it?
Absolutely. I think with Jada, for sure.
How old is she?
She is 11.
Okay.
She'll be 12 this year.
She's in that needy spot,
and
too, right?
She is definitely the preteens where, what about me, what about me, what about me? She definitely has middle child syndrome as well.
Right.
And the fact is she's the oldest, but really Jada is the oldest because she has to do everything. Like if I need her to help with this one and change diapers and whatever, it's her. She's the person I call. I would have Janai do it. She's 20. She would be my live-in babysitter.
You're babysitting Janai.
Right, exactly. But that's not the case.
Right.
She's going to be my forever baby. Yeah. All my other babies are going to grow up and leave the nest at some point.
Yeah. Right.
But, she's not.
Right.
And it's crazy because I think like soon, people are talking about like what comes after high school, what comes after. Right now she's in a career and transition center. Okay. So it's like kind of like college for her.
Oh, that's great.
But,
that's great.
What comes next, and that's a huge fear I think for parents.
That's
not knowing.
Yes,
I know. It's like, where do they go? Do they go to a day program?
Can you talk about that? Like, what do you deal with that?
It's kind of tough because I work in a mod severe program, and my kids luckily can stay in our programs until they're 22 years old, and then they can leave. But after that, it's kind of hard because a lot of the facilities that will take the kids after 22, they won't deal with severe behaviors. So most of my students have behaviors. They have some extreme violent behaviors here and there, and programs won't deal with it.
Yep.
So what do they do? Where do they go?
They stay. A lot of my kids end up staying home with the parents.
Right. And that's another thing with me with the Inclusion Clubhouse. Like, I want it to be like a full circle, like transitional type of center where, you know, kids can come in as little as babies and then grow through the center where, like, it becomes like a second home for them. And they can even find jobs within the center for them to do. You know, whether she could just be a greeter at the front desk and say hi to everyone as they walk in, or check their, you know, scan their IDs, or whatever little we could do, but create little jobs for them within the center just to make them feel like part of the community.
Included.
And like, you know, we can even still continue to have like life skill classes, or, you know, like the stuff that they would have in like a day program, but actually teaching them jobs within the center that they could do, even if it's like, you know, I don't want to say maintenance, because that's always like the typical, like, yeah, we'll stick them, like, I don't want to do that stuff, but like, you know, right now, like, she has film class, she has, you know, one of her classes where they make ice cream, and literally she's in charge of hitting the switch. So
I love it. Yes.
So whatever that we can find that they can contribute to, make it a job.
Exactly.
And just make them feel like they've got purpose. You know, if they like sports, make them a coach, an assistant coach. And, you know, create activities, and I think just partnering with other organizations who are on that same page. Because, I mean, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I just want to create a space that's like a one-stop shop where parents can come and find everything.
Absolutely.
You know, something like this one can go play soccer with other kids his age. And,
we need LeBron James.
Yes, LeBron, help me make my center
Come on,
too.
LeBron, please.
I mean, no, seriously, listen, if you're out there or you know somebody with boatloads of money that want to help create a facility. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but you never get anything unless you ask.
Exactly.
Here is a woman who has an incredible idea, and I think, you know, so many people would benefit from a place like that, because like we said, you know, from birth to like 20, there's programs, there's things. Then what? When they get into their adulthood, she's the same age as my daughter.
Well, there's live-in facilities, and there's like these, but I feel like they're it's very institutionalized.
You don't feel great about that.
I feel the same way.
So for me, like, I know with her, I don't know, I don't feel like, I'm sure people are like, oh, well, you want them to get their independence and be independent and live on their own. Kinda, maybe, but I don't know. I'm just not there yet. So for me, like, an institution isn't where I see them. Maybe someday the future of Inclusion Clubhouse will be creating transitional living facilities as well, you know,
where they could live on their own, but have 24-hour guidance or care, or if they need something or if something happens.
Because there aren't enough of those. There's like United Cerebral Palsy, and there are some organizations that have those, but the waiting lists are ridiculous.
Crazy.
They're insane, and you're putting 22-year-olds with like 50 and 60-year-olds. So they're not really amongst their peers. You know, the activities may or may not suit them. So, you know, we just need more.
Have you gotten help from UCP? Have you like tried to join forces with them?
I've reached out a couple of times. And, you know, they're super busy with their stuff. And sometimes it's weird because I feel like some organizations are, like, afraid, like, your competition. And so they're very, you know.
Which is so unfortunate, because it shouldn't be that way.
It isn't. And it's funny because we just partnered with Shane's Inspiration. So Shane's Inspiration is the accessible playgrounds. So if you go to the parks, you'll see like the adaptive swings and the playgrounds. So Shane's Inspiration has built over 70 playgrounds. They've been doing this for 20 years. And so for Gala this year, we honored their senior VP as an unsung leader, because a lot of times it's the people behind the scenes who do so much work and never get any recognition. And so we wanted to make it a point at our awards gala this year to honor people who aren't necessarily getting the recognition but are working so hard to make a difference in our community. And Shane's inspiration was just amazing. Of course, they supported that and they were excited for her. And, you know, they're even talking about trying to connect me with Parks and Recs to find us a temporary home at maybe one of the parks that has one of their accessible playgrounds. So, you know, finding organizations like that who are like-minded and on the same mission and have that same purpose as you do, because there isn't competition, because there isn't enough.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't view each other as competition if it's about the kids.
Here's an idea, Linda. Have you looked into, like, I'm just off the top of my head here, like, have you looked into, like, a church with a basement where, like, Inclusion Clubhouse could be?
We have.
You know?
We have, and it all comes down to money.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
So nobody's willing to, like, hey, use our basement Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we'll start there. No. Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, that is the, I mean, trust me, even with this, you know, getting sponsorship, and that's why we support and love everybody who helps us out, because we couldn't exist. We couldn't be on this platform. We couldn't be coming to you weekly if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors and people like, hey, we want to make sure that this is here, you know, promote this and we're going to support you. And it's like, thanks so much. I mean, but that's radio, you know, radio and TV, and, like, you know, you don't turn on ABC, those commercials are paying the bills. Trust me, you know.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So, well, listen, what's crazy about the show, he's like, you will absolutely not sit there.
not
But
get
here's
to
the
sit
good
down,
news,
Mom.
Linda. We're done in like 3 minutes.
Done. Yeah. We're almost done.
This show flies by, because
Yes, it does.
we have so much fun and we talk about so much stuff. And I really appreciate you being here today. And you know what? I know this wasn't ideal for you. I know you were like, I wanted to come. You know, I wanted the babysitter to show up. But I'm really glad that this worked out this way. And let me explain why. I think it's really, really important for people to see real life, not what is painted on somebody's Instagram or painted on TV, or like, this is the perfect, we're the perfect, no. Her babysitter crapped out on her, and here she is, and she's bringing her kids. And, you know, for 15 minutes, our viewers have had a tiny glimmer of what your life is 24 hours a day, not with one child with special needs, with 4 children. You know what I mean? And that's huge, and living a real life. And I'm just so glad that you came, and you weren't like, hey, Dee, I can't come. You were like, I'm coming, bringing the kids.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, girl, that's what we're doing. And I love that you came, and I love that you are standing up and you're, you know, fighting for the inclusion, for everybody to be treated equally. You know, screw normal. That's what I say. Screw that word. I think it's a horrible, horrible word. There is no normal. There is no perfect. And I really, really hope, and I will try my damnedest to support you in any way that I can, because
absolutely.
This is very important.
No, it is.
It's very important. It's very special. And listen, if you're out there and you want to get in touch with Linda, maybe you have a company that could sponsor her next prom or her gala or her camp next week, or you've got some extra money. I'm assuming everything's nonprofit for you, so it's
we're a 501c3, and
boom,
we have
tax
our,
deductible, baby. Get in touch with them. Tell them again where they can find you, what your Instagram is, Inclusion Clubhouse. Tell them everything one more time.
www.inclusionclubhouse.org. You can also find us at Inclusion Clubhouse on all social media platforms, as well as mine, which is at Linda Baptista Hall.
Baptista. What's a Baptista? Is it Italian?
No, it's actually Cape Verdean and Portuguese.
Is that what you are? I was like, I think she's Italian. I think I might love her even more. But I love it. No, I was trying to figure it. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. But okay, Cape Verde. Listen, thank you guys for tuning in. Julie, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And co-hosting with me. Like, we love you, love you, love you.
I love you too.
We all got to hang more.
Yes.
Just absolutely. And really quickly, I need to shout out again, just in talk of support. Chris Larrigan, Nerium.com, chrislarrigan.nerium.com. You guys, I'm telling you right now, Illuma Boost, this stuff, I have no makeup on. This stuff is like the nectar of the gods. Serious, I love it. Chris, thank you for sponsoring us. Go check her out, chrislarrigan.nerium.com. And next week, we have the beautiful, incredible founder of Big Bottom Behavior, her own clothing line. Havala's going to be our guest next week.
I'm going to come and just wait out
and
there.
Just wait out
just
there.
Watch.
We have a beautiful guest next week with a beautiful message, a beautiful line that she runs. And if you haven't already, get tickets to her Big Bottom Bash, which is happening on Saturday. Ladies only.
Yes.
All women. Body positivity, come. We're all going to be there. Julie's going to be there. Carmen's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Come. You should come. She's like, girl, I'm taking the day off.
You can get tickets for that, by the way, at bigbottombash.com.
Bigbottombash.com.
Yes.
Go get your tickets. You guys, bigbottombash.com. It's going to be so much fun. There's food. There's going to be drinks. There's going to be DJs.
And
everything's
dancing
girlies. Everything. Yes. Tune in next week. We're here every Tuesday. Carmen will be back. Thank you to my guest.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
to
having
my
us.
all
Thank
three
you.
of my beautiful guests.
Thank you. You see.
And my co-host, thank you so much for being
thank
here.
you so
And
much.
Carmen, we miss you and we love you.
Carmen, we miss you.
Follow us too, Plus Size Divas. And subscribe to the YouTube page. And I think I've covered everything. Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
You're ready?
Are you ready to go?
You're listening to Plus Size Divas with Deanna and Carmen, only on LA Talk Radio.